hope you're having a good day. I'm TR Rose of Meow About Cosplay. One of my favorite things about plush making is the ability to make a plush version of a character that has not, and likely will not ever, have an official plush release. I can make something that is one of a kind and add some of my favorite characters to my plush collection. Deltarune chapters 3 and 4 just released, and I've really been enjoying them. They're such a wonderful story. And while Fangamer has some official character plushies of some of the Dark World characters, there are likely never going to be any plush versions of the Light World characters, which is really disappointing to me because I would love to have a plushie of Susie, Kris, and Noelle. So I'm going to be making my own. After the new chapters, Susie is definitely my favorite character. And since I plan to be cosplaying as Noelle at an upcoming convention, I thought it'd be really fun to have a Susie plush to carry around with me. This also satisfies my goal of emptying out some of those scraps boxes that I got over the last 2 years from Big Z Fabric, because those contain an awful lot of pink and purple fabrics. So for this project, almost everything I used came out of my stash, with 2 exceptions. I did need to order a dark fuchsia pink because I didn't have anything that color in my stash. And I also needed to order just a couple of accessories to finish out the project. But everything else was something I already had.
I'd like to create more characters from the series as well, but Susie stands quite a bit bigger than the rest of the cast, so I wanted this plush to be larger to scale with her friends. I started with Chilly Knight's doll patterns because of the variety of clothes patterns that are available, but I knew that some adjustments were necessary. For the head, I started off with the Anthro Dragon, but I enlarged it to 125% and I changed the shape of the front. The body was the standard human body, but I enlarged it to 150% and I used a modified version of the foot pattern from the old Baby London Star sitting doll plush. I built the boots into the legs for a smoother appearance and to avoid having to add more layers on top. I patterned out the hair using construction paper, which I pinned in place. Here you can see the head attached to the body, but since she doesn't have her clothes yet, she gets a blanket. Once she has a shirt, she kind of looks like an Animal Crossing villager. Here you can see the adjusted sewing lines. I also realized I needed to make the back of the head pieces to match the hair.
Last night something was bugging me about this plush and I couldn't figure out what it was. I took pictures and something was still just not sitting right. I couldn't figure it out. I took a look the next day and I figured out what the problem was. She had a big underbite and it was too flat here in the front and it was making her face look way too boxy. I couldn't get that nice rounded shape and it was really just ruining the look of it to me. So I took it apart. I shaped this part of the mouth differently. I kept the same embroidery, but I brought this in here and I added a dart here underneath, and I had done something similar on the forehead earlier because the eyes were too wide apart. And I also flipped this hairpiece around the other direction, and I think that fixes some of the issues.
Here you can see the magnet that I glued behind her eye. And lots of hair pieces. Her golden heart belt buckle is a bag charm that I got at Michael's in the clearance section. The bias tape in purple and black for the armbands was already in my stash, but I had to order the spikes to make the bracelets.
So here's Susie. She's all finished up. As you can see, she's really quite big. She's about 18 inches tall, probably the largest plush that I have ever made. And she's got all of her clothes. She's got lots of different hair pieces. The little spikes and the belt buckle are metal, but everything else is soft. She has an interesting feature where I have a magnet here on her hair and one behind her eye. So she can cover over her eye with her hair like she does in chapter 1, or you can push it back. And, because I had a lot of people asking, yes, she does actually have a tail, but much like in the game, it's hidden by the jacket, so you can't ordinarily see it. She'd be very upset if we all knew that. But here she is, and she's remarkably cuddly. She kind of feels like a Build-A-Bear because she's a lot larger than a lot of my collectible plushies. But I'm really glad I have her done. And I'm looking forward to cosplaying as Noelle and carrying my sweet little Susie along with me. She would be so offended if I said she was sweet, because she's not. But, you know, the plushie version is.